I'm Jake Freestone. I'm the farm manager at Overbury Farms, which is a leaf demonstration farm, and we're on the Gloucestershire-Worcestershire border between Tewkesbury and Evesham. One of the key benefits of cover cropping is protection of the soil surface. Having bare land exposed to heavy winter rainfall is probably one of the worst things that you can do as a soil erosion risk. Heavy rainfall can potentially take soil particles holding nitrates, phosphates and pesticides away from the field. But by covering the soil with something like forage rye or another cereal type mix, intercepts heavy rainfall, catches nutrients that could potentially leach from the system, and might also provide a nutritional benefit for grazing livestock later in the season. By capturing more sunlight and growing more plants through the winter time, we're actually increasing the amount of soil organic matter within the field. Over time the nutrients will break down, and that will feed the humus in the soil, the bacteria and the fungi, creating a much more diverse habitat, ultimately ending up in more earthworms. The earthworms can help drainage and recycling of nutrients in a faster state within the field. Cover crops can bring many other benefits as well. It's a fantastic late season pollination source, and things like fodder radishes. This year we had butterflies and bees right up into November foraging within the crop. These cover crops can provide a wide range of different habitats on the farm. Things like farmland birds, brown hare, even pheasants and partridges love to feel secure in this sort of habitat, and that can obviously add quite a lot of extra benefits to the farm, both from a biodiversity point of view, but also maybe from farm income. Weed suppression is something that cover crops can really help with. Those weeds can be suppressed and even die through the season as the winter progresses. Here we have a fodder radish that we've just pulled up from the trial site here, and actually the end was snapped off, so that root was continuing to penetrate the soil, and you can see by the straightness of it that there's no soil compaction issues here, and this is a fantastic root for going down and taking up nutrients deeper into the soil and actually recycling them back up to where the next crop and the subsequent crop will be able to utilise them. This cover crop is a mixture of radishes and vetches, and there's a really good synergy between the two crops. So the vetches are actually using the stems of the radishes as like a little ladder, like a stick bean would crawl up, so it's keeping it supported. And if we think back to the previous wheat crop in here, wheat might only be 55 to 70% efficient in nitrogen. So a lot of what we put in, we've already paid for, and we need to capture that, recycle it and invest in that. In here we have quite a diverse mix of cover crop species. So we have oats in here, which will scavenge for nutrients and lock those up. We also have linseed, which is quite a nice fibrous root, so very good for soil structure. And also buckwheat. Although buckwheat isn't particularly winter hardy, it does have quite an aggressive rooting system for the short period of time that it grows through the autumn. So that's great again for soil structure. We also had a few peas in here as well for a bit of nitrogen fixation, and then we have some mustard as well, so a nice little taproot that goes down. And mustard is quite cheap, and it's fairly guaranteed that it'll grow. Not many other things really like eating it, so it's quite a good stable plant to have within your cover crop mix. It's important to manage your cover crop as you would a crop of wheat or oilseed rape. It needs to be planted very, very quickly behind the combine so you can utilise available moisture in the soil. And also at that time of year we've got very long day length, so actually getting a crop established rapidly is very, very important. You might even want to add a little bit of starter fertilizer, some nitrate, nitrogen or some phosphate, to encourage rapid plant development and root establishment, so that those roots can actively get down and scavenge any of the leftover nutrients from the previous crop. Although a diverse mix of species is important in a cover crop, you need to look at where it features in the rotation. For instance, if you've got oilseed rape coming along within the next year or so after the cover crop, you might not want to put too many brassicas in, things like mustard, that could carry clubroot in and affect the following crop. So varietal choice or species choice is something that you really need to explore and get the handle on as to what you want to put into the mix. Management of the cover crop is very important when you're considering what's going to follow it. We're fortunate to have the sheep that can reduce that biomass by about 50% from the original cover, which will allow cultivations to take place. If you don't have the livestock, then maybe consider a flail mower or a topper to try and reduce that mulch down before you can actually get in and cultivate. Although by doing cultivations you're actually reducing the overall benefit of cover cropping by destroying some of the soil structure and soil composition. So it's your farm, it's your field, you'll know what the issues are, and cover crops can help you solve some of those problems as part of an integrated farm approach.